About a year ago, I crashed my drone, and it wasn't the first time I've crashed it. After enough research, I decided to buy the DJI Mini Pro 3, which seems to be the best drone for someone like me who's filming themselves a lot. Honestly, I'm not an expert at flying drones, nor do I plan to become a drone pilot. I just simply wanted some different aerial angles. Now, I had two requirements when purchasing a new drone. Number one was I really wanted a drone that could track my skating, so I wouldn't need someone to fly the drone for me. Something I can use between skate spots. Which brings me to the second requirement which I had for buying a drone, was that it is small enough to fit in my camera bag. I did not want a drone that I need a separate camera bag for like my previous one, and as a bonus, I really didn't want a drone that required me to use my phone as a screen. Alright, so for my first flight, I came out here to a nice empty field. Unfortunately, it just got really windy, started picking up pretty quick. And with my Phantom drone, I wouldn't be flying in any kind of wind. I just didn't have the skill set, and that thing would just fall over really quick. It was clunky. The other thing that I've kind of been worried about is like taking off from the ground. Like there's nothing that this drone actually sits on. It just takes up straight from the ground. So I'm trying to get powered up. I did charge it all at home, so let's see if I can get it on. I went and picked up an SD card from Target as well. That's the one thing that it's not going to come with, is an SD card. So now that I got everything juiced up, I got a card, I'm here at a location. Even though it's windy, we're going to see if I can get this drone up in the air today without any really training or anything like that. I've watched a couple YouTube videos, but it's going to be a little bit of a trial and error session. It's doing something. Well, shit. It says I need a Wi-Fi connection to get up in the air. Trial and error though, that's the point of this video, to kind of walk you through the whole process of doing this. So maybe I have to go home and set it up. So I went home, I got on the Wi-Fi, got a good connection, and I updated all the firmware on the drone. That's something I probably should have done right away, but now we're back out in the field. There's nobody out here. It's nice and mellow today. It's supposed to be a heat warning today, so hopefully that doesn't have any effect on the drone, like depending on how hot it is. But now that we got everything all set up, hopefully I can get it up in the air. After a few technical flaws, I was able to start my first flight with this drone. It was a bit scary, but there's a few things that really helped me. Immediately, the drone put me through a simple flight test to figure out how the controls worked. That really helped me, just going forward, sideways, all the basics. But what's been the huge game changer with this drone is the battery life. Like I said, I'm not a pro drone flyer, and with my last drone, every time I got comfortable flying, I had to bring it down because the battery died so fast. The big difference that I've noticed with this drone is that the battery lasts so much longer. I haven't had any fly sessions so far where I ran out of battery life. If anything, I keep flying around more because I have the ability to do so. And I think that's really allowed me to get more comfortable with flying the drone. Now, something that I was really interested in this drone in the very beginning, like I said, is tracking. I wanted something that could kind of follow my skating without me having to do much. Basically, you can just highlight myself and I could track. And I'll be honest, some of the tracking on this hasn't been up to par that I thought it would be. I've seen a bunch of examples on YouTube where people were riding down bike paths and stuff like that. And I think it's really good for that, like tracking like one direction. But I think like with skateboarding, we're going left to right, then forward and stopping. And there's so much like sudden movements that I think the drone tracking hasn't really met my requirements yet. However, I don't know if there's a drone that will. But that doesn't mean that it's not good with tracking. I think I just need to figure out in what areas and what conditions I can really utilize it. So in the basic conditions that I've been using it is like to walk into a skate park or walking out of skate park. Kind of helps with transitions in edits, like going from one place to another. However, I really want to see if I can like walk around, bring my skateboard up, maybe throw down in this ditch and kind of move around and see if I can get a better tracking. So basically there's parallel tracking or go sideways, there's forward, back and forth tracking, and there are sensors on this drone. I should have mentioned that earlier. So there's 2 sensors on the bottom, there's 2 sensors in the front, and then I believe there's sensors in the back too. Yeah, so basically you can go forward, backwards, and down without worrying about any obstacles. And if there is an obstacle in the way, it'll just stop. The drone will stop right away, which is really cool. It's definitely really important when you're doing tracking because there might be like something you don't look at and then it sees it and then it bumps into it. The only thing is sideways. When it's going sideways, there is no sensor. So if you're going parallel and it hits something, it will go straight into it. It won't stop before that. So just things to consider before you start the tracking like I did out in the wild. Well, I figured let's give this one more ditch effort, right? So I'm gonna turn this bad boy on and see if I can just follow myself. I'll show you some of the raw clips of just like walking up and down this, maybe skating around a little bit and just get an idea of what it's capable of. Because there's a lot of different modes. I'm not gonna go into like too much detailed. Like I said, I got this drone just to get some clips and hopefully so that you guys, other skaters who maybe aren't video makers or maybe small video maker, independent filmmakers like me, can see where this is a good thing and where maybe it's not so much of a good thing. See, that's the thing. I feel like when I start to move quick, it doesn't follow me very well. As you can see, once I start slowing down, then it's good. Get this exposure, hopefully it's not as dark as it actually looks on the screen. And you kind of tap on the exposure on the screen, which is really easy. You don't need to know too many skills. So yeah, let's see if this thing can follow me around like I want it to. Just walking up this ditch. I'll do a little run. All right, that's pretty nice because it's at a nice level ground right there. And it's not, you know, you see me skating across this water real quick. Looks like it's following me pretty good. This is what they call the spotlight mode. Not bad. Still following me. Slipped out. I'm gonna set the controller down so I can make it look a little more realistic. Oh, I set the controller down and it lost me immediately. Just confused now. And that's kind of the hard part because ultimately that's my goal with this is like to film me. And if I have to like have the controller with me, I'm not able to really get the skating clips that I really want to get. See if it still has me in lock. It looks like I'm still locked. Can't really tell because now I'm leaving the controller. So from here, I kind of just got to trust that it's doing its thing. pretty good. Let me know down below because I can't tell right now. The hard part is when I start skating. So let's see if I can skate down this way. Let's see if it'll follow me. Looks like it's still on me. Pretty impressive. All right, so actually after that tracking session, I'm really happy with the results that I got out of that. I haven't looked at the results, but just seeing the drone fly around, I think we did good. The one thing I think that's like not been good for is at skate parks when there's just so much other stuff going around. I think it's hard to track me because there's so many moving parts. So I think when I'm out at ditches or spots, I'm gonna be using it more and try to find out if I can really use this tracking alone. It'd be sick to get like a whole line, like bombing a hill, something like that. I think is totally doable. I just have to get more comfortable with it. Should you get this drone? I mean, honestly, this is the best drone, probably a really good equipment that I've ever used. To be honest, I was actually really hyped with it overall. It's a little pricey, but if you have the means to get something like this, I think it's the best drone for a skater. To be honest, it fits my bag. It's got a lot of camera life. It's not super big. Gets a good image that I want. It has tracking, not the best tracking. I'm working on the tracking. So overall, it's a really rad drone. Hope you guys enjoyed the clips. Sorry that my speech is so bad, my tooth. I feel so embarrassed about all of this, but yeah, let me know what you think down below. We'll have more drone clips in future edits. So if you're not subscribed, make sure to do so. See y'all next one. MASH.